Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to an ESPN NFL 2K5 franchise rebuild with the Detroit Lions. It is week 9, we're on game 8, we're sitting at 2-5 overall, and we have the Washington football team coming up next. A great offense, an okay defense, but they do have a couple of really big stars, Sean Taylor, LeVar Arrington coming to mind, and they are going to be a challenge for us who are still sitting with a lot of players out for a little bit longer. You can see here we're on the cusp of having Boss Bailey, Joey Harrington, and as I hear Hakeem back from being out on the injury report. Of course, we still have a month without Terrence Holt, and we will still have Brian Walker in since he is only probable. So we're going to kick this one off. Washington versus Detroit, trying to get another win in our column, although at 5-2, they've been having a good year and we have not. Now, before we jump into this video, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 500 total subscribers, and if you're already subscribed or if you're not, please like and comment on the video. That always helps with engagement. Without further ado, let's get into it. Washington football team, the Detroit Lions. Here we go, and welcome to Detroit Field here in Detroit, Michigan, Ford Field to be exact, where the Lions are here and ready to take another homestand against the Washington football team. They are here and ready, standing at 5-2, ready to get another win in their column, and the Lions fans are just hoping to get another win in general so they can feel a little bit better about how this season is going so far. The Washington football team would win the toss. Clinton Portis gets his first carry of the day, only gets 1 yard up the middle with a stop by Teddy Lehman, and the very next play, Mark Brunell finds Rod Gardner, and Rod Gardner is absolutely gone. Nobody is going to get close to him. Brian Walker is in pursuit. He misses the tackle, 10-5, and go ahead and give the Washington football team 6. It's barely been 30 seconds into this contest, and Washington is up by a score of 7-0. You can see this one again. Brunell hits Gardner perfectly in stride. He had a step already on Fernando Bryant. The safety, Brian Walker, didn't have a chance, and Gardner is all the way into the end zone, just 2 plays into this game, and the Lions have a hole to dig out of. Lions taking over from their own 20. McMahon taking over again, rolling to his right, rolling way out to his right, hauling a deep one downfield to an open Roy Williams, who takes that one in and is downfield for 38 yards. A great start for the Lions, and that's about where the great start would end. 1st and 10, that one is deflected over the middle from McMahon. 2nd down now, Jones getting his first carry of the day, gets some room up the middle, gets 6 yards on that one from the tackle from Barrow. A 3rd and 4 upcoming. McMahon rolls out to his left, has an open receiver there on the left side, looks like Roy Williams, and that one bounces out of his hands. The Lions decide to go for it. They didn't want to punt it away. They wanted to be aggressive, and Roy Williams once again has it in his hands and has it knocked out of his hands. The Commanders would take over at their own 37, and Gardner is right back at it. He takes that one in from Mark Brunell, 20 yards on that play. Brian Walker barely gets a stop. Clinton Portis on the counter left, cuts back to his right. Walker gets the tackle that time, 4-yard gain on the play. 2nd and 6, Brunell takes a deep drop back, finds who else but Gardner again in stride, 15 yards. Bryant on the tackle, a step behind on the slant route. Clinton Portis takes it to the right side on the counter. Porcher gets in there, make sure that Portis gets no gain on the play. 2nd and 10, Portis gets another counter, this time to the left side. Bly and Curry are there to make sure it's only a 1-yard gain. 3rd and 9, Brunell dropping back, passes it to the left side. This one is going to be deflected by Dre Bly, falls incomplete. This is a 41-yard field goal by Ola Kimrin. This one is up, and it is good. The Washington football team once again getting on top, 10-0 here in this first quarter. The Lions trying to make something out of their slow start. Kevin Jones takes the toss to the right side, and Arrington is there to take him down quickly. Only a gain of 1 yard. 2nd down, McMahon rolls out to the left side, throws it over the head of a Washington defender to Reggie Swinton. Our special teamer gets an 18-yard gain on that one. McMahon on the 1st down throws it to the right flat to Jones, who has some space in front of him and tries to shake away from Sean Taylor, but you can't shake away from Sean Taylor. That's a gain of 7 yards. Here on the next play, Jones runs left for a loss of 1, tries to run over his own guard, Damian Woody, and Arrington is there for the stop. And on the next play, McMahon throws it to turf, and that would be a 4th down for the Lions. The Commanders take back over at their own 20. Portis gets the first run up the middle for 8 yards. Walker is in there on the stop. 2nd and 2 for the Washington team. Portis counters to the right, cuts back through the middle, gets 5 yards. Holmes and Brandon are in there on the stop. 1st and 10 from the Washington 33. Brunell throws it to who else? Again, Ron Gardner catches it, turns on the Jets, gets 26 yards downfield before Walker can push him out of bounds. 1st and 10 in Detroit territory for Washington. This time Brunell's going to find Clinton Portis only for 1 yard. Lehman had him first. Bly made sure he gets down for only that 1 yard gain. 2nd down, Brunell dropping way back, throws it off to Clinton Portis on the flat, tries to juke out of the tackle, only gets a 3 yard gain. Smith helping Bryant get the tackle. 3rd and 6, Burnell throws it to Lavernius Coles finally, who has a step behind the defense. Cash can't get him, and Coles is in the end zone with a 37-yard touchdown. The first quarter isn't even over yet, and Washington is absolutely running away with this one. It is a 17-0 gain. You see Lavernius Coles getting the reception, running out of the outstretched hands of Cash, who is trying to get him by the shoelaces, and that is going to take us to the end of the first quarter. The Washington football team is up 17-0, and this is turning into a blowout for the Lions very quickly. After a 1-yard gain by Jones to take us into the quarter, we have a 2nd and 9. McMahon tossing high over the left side. Bowen almost intercepts that one. Incomplete. We have a 3rd and 9. And on the next throw, he made sure it would get intercepted this time. LeVar Arrington steps into that pass over the middle. I remember throwing this pass. I got totally frozen by Arrington, who cut left, cut right, and then cut right in front of my pass to take it away. The Commanders take over with Portis getting no gain. Holmes in there on the stop, and then on the very next play, Portis counters to the left side, gets through the mess of Lions, and gets down the sideline. Cash manages to drag him out of bounds, but it's a 19-yard gain. The Commanders have the ball at the Detroit 14. Burnell finds Gardner over into the first and goal territory. It's a 1st and goal on the Detroit 2-yard line, and it only takes one run from Clinton Portis. Doesn't get touched by a Lions defender. We're only a minute and change into the second quarter, and the Lions are down in a 24-0 hole. First down for the Lions. McMahon almost throws the ball immediately right back to the Washington team. 2nd and 10. McMahon drops back from shotgun, throws it over to the right side, looking for no one else but Charles Rogers, who it's out of his outstretched hands. This one is landing incomplete. 3rd and 10. Same story for McMahon. Same result. Pass up to the right side, this time to our rookie Derek Hamilton. Underthrows this man. Incomplete. A quick 3 and out from the Lions. The Commanders are going to take back over. 1st and 10 from Washington's 49. Portis gets up the middle for 6 yards. 2nd and 4 now. Portis gets the ball again, counters to the left side, has space in front of him, manages 12 yards before just running out of bounds. No Lions are able to get a hand on Portis on that one. He gets the call again on the 1st and 10 from Washington's 33. Holmes makes sure he only gets 2 yards. Burnell's going to pass this time. He's looking for Lavernius Coles. This time Sam Brandon manages to step up into this one. Incomplete. 3rd and 8. Burnell looking this time for James Thrash over the middle, who has that one over the outstretched hands of the safety. 19-yard gain, and on the very next play, we got Ron Gardner in the end zone once again. A 12-yard strike from Burnell to Gardner, one of his favorite targets so far today. And the Lions are down 31-0. And just to make matters worse, McMahon is immediately sacked by Noble for a loss of 5. 2nd and 15. McMahon trying to get it all back. Williams is there that time, bobbles it up, and gets tackled. Incomplete pass. Terrible look for the Lions on that one. And on the 3rd and 15, we got a pass on the flat to Jones, who has a little bit of room, does a little shake and bake, but he is taken down from behind by Bowen. Not enough for the first down. It was a 12-yard gain, and the Commanders will take back over the Washington football team, whatever you're going to call it. I'm not going to call them by their old name. I'm not sorry about it. Portis gets to the left side for 9 yards after the first run of 7 yards. Burnell is finally going to take a sack here. Our rookie, Kwame Edwards, is going to get back there, sacks him for a loss of 1 as he started to scramble, and the Washington team immediately erases the loss. Clinton Portis gets through the line on the counter to the left side. Sam Brandon tackles him, saves the touchdown, but is still an 8-yard gain. 3rd and 3, it's like stopping an inevitability. You just can't do it. Burnell complete to Coles for 6 yards. 1st and 10, moving the chains for Washington. Portis up the middle, this time only getting 1 yard. Right when you think we're going to get some momentum back, it go ahead and turns the other direction. You thought we were going to get the sack there. Instead, Lavernius Coles steps in front of the pass, gets 15 yards and a first down. It is now 1st and 10 from Detroit 17. Burnell finds his tight end, Brian Kozlowski, and there's a defensive pass interference called on Detroit. So a short pass turns into a 1st and 10 pass from the Detroit 13. Burnell looking end zone this time, throws it up to the left side. Dre Bly finally steps in front of the pass, makes sure it's incomplete. 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10 has been their bread and butter. Clinton Portis gets that one, shakes off of one of his guards, shakes out of a tackle there from Holmes, gets around Dre Bly and into the end zone for another Washington touchdown. I hope you're catching a theme here, everybody. We're going into halftime down 38-0. We're already getting blown out worse than we were by the Packers in the entire game. So this is really shaping up to be something terrible very quickly. You can look at the tail of the stats. They've been crushing us in every single aspect of the game today. We have a very, very sad 12 yards rushing, a sad 75 yards passing, and just 3 first downs in only 5 minutes of possession. Let's see if we can get anything going here in this second half, and the answer is no, we're not going to we're just not going to have anything going. We get sacked by Barrow for a loss of 5, 2nd and 15. McMahon once again trying to make it all up in one throw, incomplete, getting tipped away. And on the 3rd and 15, McMahon dropping back. Joe Salavea is all the way through for another sack and a loss of 8 yards. Mike McMahon is having an absolutely brutal day as we turn the ball back over to the Commanders. Brunell gets his pass deflected by Walker there, 2nd and 10, and you know that when the Washington team has a second down, something good is going to happen for them, and there it is once again. Brunell passes complete to Coles for 15 yards. We got a 1st and 10 from Detroit territory. Portis just rumbles up the middle for 9 yards. 2nd and 1 now. Portis doesn't need much, and he doesn't need to take that much. He gets 2 yards up to the right side. Walker and Porcher combining there, but we have another first down. 1st and 10 from Detroit's 23. Brunell finds Portis on the left flat. Jerry Bly manages to get him down, only a gain of 2 yards that time. 2nd and 8. Portis is going to get another carry, bounces off to his left side, bounces off another one of his linemen, is taken down by Curry and branded for another gain of 2 yards. 3rd and 6. Brunell trying to keep this drive alive, floats to the right side. This one falls past Kozlowski, is going to be incomplete, and we hold them to another field goal, but more points go on the board. 3rd quarter, more points for the Washington football team. That 36-yard field goal by Kimron is good, and the Detroit Lions are down 41-0. And at this point, we are just trying to get out of here. We go ahead and take a run to the right side for 4 yards. 2nd and 6. McMahon looking for Schlesinger on the hook route. That one was almost again taken away. It's a miracle he hasn't thrown more interceptions today. And on that 3rd and 6, McMahon is incomplete to Swinton, once again throwing into double coverage. That's never going to work for us. And that is our 5th, count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th 3 and out of the game so far today. And just to put the icing on the cake, Clinton Portis counters to the right side for 50 big yards, and they are just rolling right down the field. It only takes one more run for Clinton Portis to get the final 35 yards down the field. You see Sam Brandon just whiff on that tackle. We can't get Terrence Holt back soon enough. We can't get Boss Bailey back soon enough. The Lions are down 48-0, and we have had it with Mike McMahon. Rick Myra comes in, who does complete his first pass to Jones, but it's for a loss of 1. That second pass to Williams in and out of his hands. And on the 3rd and 11, just when we thought that all hope was lost, Myra throws a bomb up to Roy Williams. He actually catches the pass. It's a 24-yard gain, and the Lions manage to move the chains for the first time since the first freaking quarter. Jones draws up the middle for just 1 yard. Salavea and Noble, the big men up front there for the tackle. 2nd and 9. Myra looking for Roy Williams. That one bounces off of his hands. Incomplete, bringing up another 3rd down. And on this 3rd and 9, 3rd and nice and long, Myra doesn't like what he sees upfield, has some room to run, and decides to take it himself. Tucks and runs. The old man turning back time. Rick Myra getting out of bounds for 20 yards, and he is already doing better than we feel like McMahon did all game. We get Jones up the middle for 5 yards, and on the 2nd and 5, we give another one to Kevin Jones, trying to stretch out for that first down, but he can't quite get it. We go into the 4th quarter, still down 48-0. We are trying desperately to get into the end zone and not be shut out here. On the 3rd and 1, Schlesinger does what he needs to do, and Big Corey gets up the middle for the first down. We've already gotten more first downs with Myra as we had that entire first half with our guy, Mike McMahon. Hamilton gets a 9-yard gain there. Jones up the middle, gets some room in front of him. Sean Taylor hits him, but it's an 8-yard gain. We're getting closer to that end zone, ladies and gentlemen. Jones takes the toss to the right side, 2 yards on the gain. 2nd and goal, Rick Myra looking to pass this time, throws it up to the left side. We thought he was going to cut harder to the left. That one's deflected by one of the 3 Washington defenders. Myra finds our guy Rogers for, I think that was his first catch today, for a gain of 5 yards up the middle, and we take the choice for glory. We go for it on 4th down, and we get stuffed. We don't get the first down. We don't get the touchdown. We chose to not go for the field goal, and it does not pay off. Kevin Jones gets stuffed up the middle. We can see this one more time. Our big lineman, Damian Woody, that we're paying a lot of money to, does not do his job, and we're like, okay, we're going to just stuff him at the line here, and Clinton Portis is gone. He gets to the left side, and you think that Brian Walker is going to catch Clinton freaking Portis. He's past the 50, the 40, the 30. Walker doesn't have a freaking chance past the 10, the 5. Gives that man a 99-yard touchdown run. Kevin Jones can't believe it. He thought he was about to be in the touchdown column, but instead Clinton Portis gets into the end zone for his 4th touchdown of the day, including that 99-yard touchdown strike from Clinton Portis, and now that Washington team is up 55-0. Now, normally at this point, you'd think like, okay, you're down 55-0. Do you really need to show us everything that's left? But would you believe me, if I told you that the scoring today was not done. Now, would it be a score from the Lions or would it be a score from the Washington football team? Well, you saw that first down barely happen for us in the last drive. You see that incomplete pass there from Meyer to Roy Williams. On the 2nd and 10, Jones, we're just trying to get out of this one at this point. Runs to the left side for no gain. Crockett now in there for the stop. It looks like the Washington backups are in. Meyer rolls way out to his right, heaves this one downfield for Derek Hamilton, who can't get towards it. 3rd and 10, and I think you can guess it, ladies and gentlemen. These Washington teams are going to get into the end zone once again. Meyer's pass is knocked away, incomplete, and the Commanders take over because that was a 4th and 10. Liddell Betts now, the backup, gets in there for a great run of 8 yards, and on the 2nd and 2, the very next play, I am not kidding, I cannot make this up, he is in for 28 yards to the left side. Liddell Betts gets into the touchdown, and that is going to do it mercifully for this one. Ladies and gentlemen, this is officially the worst that I have ever lost in this game by any stretch of my memory. I've played this game since it was released in 2004, and it is obviously way past 2004 at this point, and I have never lost 62-0, let alone be shut out like this in really any capacity other than getting beat by the Packers like we did before. So the final score is Detroit 0, Washington 62, in an absolutely just world-beating performance from the Washington football team, who now sit at 6-2. We move down to 2-6. We are just careening towards that first round draft pick. We're going to try things out a little bit differently next time. We're actually going to do 2 games in one episode, but this episode we're going to go into our final stats for the game. As you can see, the tail of the stats tape, you see our 2 quarterbacks barely combined for anything. McMahon was 4 for 17, 75 yards and a pick before we pulled him. Rick Meyer came in and did not fare much better. He was only 5 for 13, 58 total yards, didn't sniff a touchdown, but he also didn't get picked off. You can see Portis there, 276 yards, eventually had 4 touchdowns. Kevin Jones did okay, 17 carries, 57 yards. He showed some flashes, but we just didn't get it done like we should have on the offensive or the defensive side. Roy Williams only had 2 receptions for 62 yards. You can see farther down here that we threw to him 12 times. So those 2 catches are just not good. They weren't good at all. He only dropped 1, but you can't have 2 receptions on 12 targets. And Walker and Brandon, our 2 safeties, were busy today. That's probably because Clinton Portis and the receivers were constantly getting the ball past the line in the secondary and all of that good stuff. We didn't really have much else good to highlight there, so we are going to go ahead and just wash our hands of this one and try and move along and get a win somewhere along the line for moral purposes, but we are really just trying to get those high draft picks at this point. You can see we've lost that 4th game in a row, but we have a game that feels very, very winnable. We are going to be traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars, who are also sitting at 2-6, not exactly having the best year this year as well. Now, if we want to also talk silver linings, you can see that our injury report only contains Terrence Holt. Most of our guys will be back. One of those guys who is back is Joey Harrington. You can see he's thrown for 1,400 yards so far this year before getting hurt. His touchdown to interception ratio is not the best, 7-6, but hopefully he's going to play a little bit better coming back from injury. Kevin Jones, the rookie, has 385 yards in 8 games so far. Not the best, only has gotten into the end zone once as well. We will definitely be trying to increase those numbers as the second half of the year rolls around. Now, who isn't doing bad is Roy Williams, having a great rookie campaign, one of the top rookie campaigns or just receiving campaigns in general. And you can see Charles Rogers, Azahir Hakeem, also solid options for us as well in that receiving group. Steven Alexander has a couple of big catches. We wish he would do a little bit more consistent catching. You can see Roy and Charles each getting their fair share of the touchdown catches so far, and not too many drops between the 2 of them, but we could always use a little bit less. Looking at our defense, Brian Walker, the strong safety, is our leading tackler. Dante Curry, the backup linebacker, in for the injured Boss Bailey, getting in there in that second place, both having a high number of tackles and assists for our numbers as well. You can see by the assist numbers there, Fernando Bryant, Teddy Lehman, Sam Brandon also getting into the conversation. Our sack numbers are not exactly world-beating. Sean Rogers, Big Sean, has the most. Ron Porter, I should say, also has 2.5 sacks to his name. Trey Bly gets on the ball a lot. He gets a lot of pass deflections, does not have as many interceptions to his name. Terrence Holt, we are missing him, has the most interceptions. Dre has taken one in. Fernando Bryant has gotten 2 takeaways as well. Looking at our tackles for loss, Teddy Lehman is leading in that category. Big Sean as well with those 3 sacks. Those do count as tackles for loss. And you can see Dante Curry, the one forced fumble for the year. Jason Hansen having a good field goal year so far. He's made 9 of 11, equaling out to 45%. Nick Harris is our punter, and Derek Hamilton is our kick returner and our punt returner for now. He's doing a pretty good job of both. We're not feeling too bad about grabbing him in that trade with the 49ers. Now looking at the overall league leaders, Kurt Warner, Big Kurt in the New York Giants, leading the lead in passing. Rich Gannon at the Raiders is right behind him, followed by Matt Hasselbeck and Chad Pennington. You can see he's got about 15 touchdowns as well. League leader is Matt Hasselbeck with 18 of those things. And if you look really closely here, you can see that all of the running backs in the top 4 have faced our defense. So if you want to be the best running back in the league, you play the Detroit Lions, and that is a guarantee. Looking at the receiving, we are leading the league in receiving yards. The top 3 receivers, 2 of the top 3 receivers are on the Detroit Lions. We're still only 2-6. Would you just look at that? Chris Chambers having a great year. Amani Toomer actually has the most touchdown receptions out of all of the receivers so far. Lends something to Kurt Warner's great year as well. Kwame Lassiter over at the San Diego Chargers. Rest in peace, my friend. Leading in the tackles so far this year in the National Football League. Our league leader in sacks is Jason Taylor over with the Miami Dolphins. Leonard Little over with the Rams right behind him. Greg Wesley doing a great job hawking the ball, as well as Charles Woodson and Will Allen over on the New York Giants. They all have the most interceptions out of anyone in the league so far through 8 or 9 games, depending on where they are. And Mike Vanderjagt over on the Indianapolis Colts, the only perfect kicker so far. You can see a lot of kickers there are only one miss away, and that is the only place where we have somebody in the top list if you don't count Roy Williams over there. You can see the punters, you can see the kick returners, and you can see the punt returners here as well. And let's talk about some trades. The Niners were busy. They acquired Sam Madison from the Seahawks, or I'm sorry, they got defensive end Grant Winstrom from the Seahawks for Sam Madison. Sam Madison was released from the Dolphins and signed by the Niners and sent over there. You can also see that we sent them Ty Streets. They needed that upgrade in wide receiver. We got a 2nd-round draft pick out of them. The Browns got a cornerback, 2 cornerbacks for the services of a guard. It did help them. I mean, they had great blocking against us. And you can see that Carson Palmer, once again, he was traded in both of the franchises. This time he was traded to the Cardinals, who desperately need a quarterback as well. And the Chiefs upgraded on both the outside linebacker and the tight end spot. They gave up a defensive end and a cornerback for those 2 moves. The Cowboys, as we saw, had Zach Thomas as an inside linebacker. They gave up tackle Flozell Adams for that deal. You can also see the other deals that the Dolphins made. They got defensive end Vonnie Holiday from those Chiefs for their outside linebacker Moreland Greenwood. They also trade away Zach Thomas for Flozell Adams, and they trade away a guard for Brandon Whiting. So a little bit of offense, a little bit of defense, lots of moves from the Dolphins. Us, the Lions, we traded away a few guys for some draft picks. Like we said, we're blowing it up this year, and we're doing our best to put ourselves in a good position to make some of those draft picks as valuable as possible, especially those 2nd rounders. The Packers were busy this year. They got Gary Walker from the Houston Texans for cornerback Mike McKenzie and defensive tackle Kenny Peterson. And of course, we did trade them Brock Marion for their 2nd-round picks this year and next year. Those will be really, really good picks for us down the line. Looking at the Raiders, they got defensive end Kevin Carter from the Titans for guard Mo Collins. A little swappy swap of a deal, not too bad for either one. And there we go. On the other end of that, we've got tackle Marvell Smith coming from the Pittsburgh Steelers for cornerback Travis Taylor. And then the Washington football team, the team that we just played, did make a few moves. They had that extra cornerback in Julian Battle. They got Reuben Brown, who was holding it down for Clinton Portis in that game. Good moves from the Washington football team. You can see here the Seahawks go ahead and upgrade at cornerback. Sam Madison moves all the way from Miami to dreary Seattle, and they are just stacked at that cornerback position. The Steelers also got that cornerback Travis Fisher, and you can see the Texans upgraded with their services of Mike McKenzie, who was on that team when we played them, so that trade happened nice and early for them. And then, of course, the Titans getting guard Mo Collins for defensive end Kevin Carter from the Raiders. So that's going to do it for this one, everybody. We are 2-6. We are headed to Jacksonville to play also 2-6 Jacksonville Jaguars, And that is going to do it for this episode of The Lions Rebuild. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're going to come back next time with a doubleheader, so it's going to be that Jaguars game and the Vikings game that's coming back after that. And we always live stream these games. Those live replays are always up on the channel as well, so go check those out if you want to see every single play that I'm calling and every single moment of these games. Otherwise, thanks for being here. Sub up on the channel. Peanuts 24/7, signing out.